There's a kind of attraction that doesn't rely on looks, wealth, or charm. It's not loud. It doesn't beg for validation. It doesn't crave attention. It commands it. It's the kind of presence that makes others pause when you walk in, a silent strength that can't be faked because it's forged, in solitude, in restraint, in discipline. And the truth is, if you see these 4 signs in yourself, you are more dangerously attractive than you think. Sign 1. You radiate composure when everyone else is losing theirs. Real attraction begins with emotional control. The one who does not flinch under pressure holds the highest power. When others are consumed by impulse, you stay still. When others react, you respond, calmly, deliberately, and only when necessary. The Stoics understood that mastery over emotion is the highest form of beauty. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." The man or woman who remains unshaken, who refuses to let others pull them into emotional chaos, radiates a presence that others can't explain. We are drawn to those who seem to live on their own rhythm, unaffected by gossip, unmoved by provocation, detached from the need to prove anything. That calm, unbreakable posture creates an aura of mystery. People can sense when you are no longer enslaved by anger, jealousy, or fear, and they can't help but be magnetized by it. Seneca once said that, "Nothing is more admirable than a man who remains serene in adversity. That serenity is rare, and what is rare becomes valuable." It's not arrogance, it's mastery. You don't need to convince others of your worth. Your calm does it for you. When you walk into a room and you don't seek attention, yet everyone feels your energy, that's not coincidence. That's composure, and it's one of the most dangerously attractive traits a person can possess. Sign 2. You move with purpose, even in silence. There's something magnetic about a person who knows exactly what they're doing, even when they say nothing. Their movements are measured. Their words are few but meaningful. They don't rush, they don't chase, because their purpose is stronger than their impulse. Epictetus wrote, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." That's the energy of someone who moves with purpose. Every decision, every step is aligned with something greater than comfort or recognition. In a world addicted to speed and noise, a calm and deliberate presence stands out. People notice the man who doesn't rush to fill silence with words, who isn't desperate to be seen or heard. They notice the woman who carries herself as if her soul already knows its worth. We live in a society where most people seek validation before they even breathe. But when you detach from that, when you stop explaining yourself, stop seeking approval, stop chasing, you begin to hold a kind of power that others instinctively respect. This is the paradox. The more you detach from the need to be attractive, the more attractive you become. The more you stop seeking power, the more powerful you appear. The Stoics knew this. They trained themselves to let go of what they could not control. And in doing so, they became immovable. That's the essence of quiet attraction, unshakable self-command. Sign 3, you carry an aura of detachment, and it drives people crazy. There's a certain danger in someone who doesn't need anything from anyone, a calm, collected kind of danger, the kind that makes others question what you're hiding, what you've seen, what you've conquered within yourself. This is not arrogance, it's inner independence. When a person stops seeking approval, they begin to glow differently. Their energy changes. Their eyes no longer beg to be understood, they observe. Their silence no longer means weakness, it means control. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once wrote, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." And that is exactly what happens when a sensitive soul learns detachment. You stop trying to control how people see you, love you, or accept you. Instead, you master the only territory that truly belongs to you, your mind. We live in a world that feeds on reactions. Everyone wants a response, an opinion, a validation, a confession. But when you no longer play that game, when your emotions are not easily provoked, People feel disarmed around you. They can't manipulate someone who doesn't crave approval. They can't guilt-trip someone who doesn't seek validation. They can't confuse someone who sees through noise. And this makes you dangerously attractive, because detachment creates mystery. It gives you presence without desperation. It allows you to love without losing yourself, to care without collapsing, to walk away without explaining. Seneca once warned, "He who is everywhere is nowhere." When your attention, your emotions, and your energy are scattered across people's opinions, you become diluted, forgettable. But when you pull your power back into yourself, you become concentrated, focused, unforgettable. True attraction doesn't come from chasing beauty. It comes from becoming whole, from not needing attention to feel alive, from being able to sit alone in silence and feel powerful, because your peace no longer depends on anyone else's presence. That's the paradox of detachment. When you no longer need the world to see your worth, the world starts noticing you more. When you stop performing for love, your energy becomes pure, and others can't help but be drawn to it. Your silence, your stillness, your self-command, they become your language. You say everything without saying anything, and that kind of energy is magnetic. It's intimidating. It's the mark of someone who's no longer chasing, because they've already found themselves. Sign 4. You radiate power without speaking, the energy of controlled chaos. There is a rare kind of presence that demands no introduction, no loudness, no performance, no decoration. It is silent, yet it fills every room it enters. It is calm, yet people can feel it before you even say a word. That is the energy of someone who has mastered himself, the dangerous kind of attractive energy that comes not from appearance, but from inner order. True power doesn't shout. It doesn't chase attention. It simply is. This power is built in the shadows, in the moments of restraint when you could speak but choose silence, when you could react but choose stillness, when you could break but choose to stand taller instead. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's what this sign is about. An aura that comes from someone who has tamed his chaos instead of trying to hide it. Most people are slaves to their emotions. They explode when challenged, collapse when ignored, and bend under pressure. But the man who has learned to stay centered when others lose control carries a kind of quiet intensity that unsettles the weak and inspires the strong. People feel it. They can't explain it, but they feel it. The way you hold yourself, the way you speak few but deliberate words, the way your silence becomes louder than anyone's noise. This kind of restraint is terrifying to those who thrive on manipulation, because they can't read you, and when people can't read you, they can't control you. Epictetus taught, "No man is free who is not master of himself," and when you master yourself, you begin to emit something sacred, a form of self-sufficiency that looks like mystery to the untrained eye. We live in a world obsessed with exposure. Everyone wants to be seen, to be known, to be validated. But when you step away from that hunger, when you no longer care about being understood, you begin to stand apart. You begin to radiate something that others crave but can't imitate. Discipline. It's not the kind of discipline that comes from control over the external world, but the kind that governs your internal universe. You stop seeking revenge on people who hurt you because you've already outgrown them. You stop begging to be seen because you've already learned how to see yourself. You stop proving your worth because your silence proves it for you. Seneca once wrote, "He who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior." And that's what happens when your chaos no longer owns you. Your calm becomes your weapon. The way you sit in discomfort without running away, the way you stay silent while others scream for attention, that is your armor. When a person reaches this level of inner order, their attractiveness becomes almost spiritual. You stop radiating desperation and start radiating peace. and peace in a world drowning in chaos becomes rare and therefore irresistible. The people around you start to sense something divine in your energy, but it's not divinity born of arrogance, it's divinity born of endurance. They see a man who's been through storms but doesn't carry thunder in his tone. A man who's felt pain but doesn't let it twist his soul. A man who can walk through hell and still hold his head like heaven's watching. That is what it means to radiate power without speaking. It's not about dominance, it's about control. It's about the ability to walk away instead of arguing, to stay kind when it's easier to be cruel, to hold peace in your heart when the world gives you every reason to lose it. When you embody that, your very existence becomes intimidating. Not because you threaten others, but because you remind them of what they could be if they mastered themselves. You reflect their weakness back to them simply by existing. People will feel drawn to you but won't know why. Some will admire your calm, others will resent it. But deep down, everyone knows. A man who cannot be provoked is a man who cannot be defeated. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply. Even as the most powerful man in the world, he wrote nightly reminders to himself to stay humble, to forgive easily, to never let power over others corrupt power over himself. That's the paradox of true power. The stronger you become inside, the less you need to prove it outside. When you've mastered your chaos, your silence carries weight. Your absence is noticed. Your energy lingers. You walk through life not seeking attention but commanding it through sheer presence. That is what makes you dangerously attractive. Not your looks, not your words, but your emotional sovereignty. It's a kind of beauty that doesn't fade with time, because it's not carved into your face. It's carved into your soul. And when the world looks at you, they don't see someone who's trying to be powerful. They see someone who is, not because life has been easy on you, but because you've learned to be unshakable through it. We who walk this path do not need to explain our calm. We've earned it in the silence of our pain, in the fire of our discipline, and in the grace of our restraint. That is the kind of energy that can't be faked, and the kind that makes the world stop and stare, even when you say nothing at all. When you embody these two signs, calm composure and deliberate purpose, you don't need to announce your worth. The world will feel it. People will sense it in your silence, your stillness, your restraint. You won't need to chase, because what's meant for you will recognize the discipline in your eyes, the stillness in your tone, the focus in your energy. You become like a mountain, unbothered by storms, untouched by noise. And that kind of presence is dangerously attractive. Get exclusive content and deeper insights. Join our membership today. Link in the description. If this resonated with you, subscribe to the Stoic Verse for more wisdom to guide your journey.